What's up guys and girls, welcome to Freedive Passion. Today I'm going to walk you through what it's like to be in a competition. This video is designed for those people who want to compete but have never yet took part in a depth competition. This video is for depth competitions and under the rules of AIDA. AIDA International is one of the governing bodies which sanctions, records and oversees competitions. The other body would be CMAS. I'm not too familiar with the CMAS rules, and most competitions are AIDA, so most people watching this video will need to know these rules. I'm not going to go over every single rule that there is. If you want to know every rule, you can head over to the AIDA International website and you'll be able to find all of the rules there. This is just going to help you to understand how a competition flows and what the most important rules are. So if you want to compete in a depth competition, the first thing that you should do is an entry-level freediving course. So whether that's the AIDA 2 or the SSI level 1, whichever, you should have some sort of freedive training from an official organization. The next thing that you will have to do is join an AIDA national. So I'm British, so I joined the BFA. Most countries have their own organization that you can join. If your country doesn't have its own organization, you can still compete, but you need to join just any other national from anywhere in the world. You'll then need to get a medical certificate, which says that you're fit to freedive. And after that, you can go onto the AIDA page, register as an athlete on the AIDA page. I'm going to link to the AIDA International page down below so you can find it easily. Once you've done that, you go to also on the AIDA page and you find a competition and you begin the registration process for that competition. So once you're registered, you go to wherever the competition is going to be. Normally the day before the competition, there'll be a pre-comp meeting. In this meeting, you'll probably hear from the organizer who's going to explain like how his individual setup is, where the warm-up buoys are, where the oxygen is, how the counterballast works, how the competition is going to flow in general. You'll probably hear from the head of safety and you'll hear from the judges who will clarify maybe some parts of the rules which some people don't understand. There'll also be a lanyard check where they make sure that your lanyard is working. The night before the competition, all the athletes have to announce what depth they're going to do in the competition, what discipline they're going to do, and the dive time. One thing you need to know about announcements is it can only be a maximum, according to the AIDA rules, of 5 meters deeper than your PB. But the organizer has the right to limit that 5 meters. So the organizer could say maximum of 4.321 meters or maximum of your PB. The organizer has the right to do that. If you're watching this video, this is probably your first competition. So it would be a little bit crazy to announce a PB on your first ever competition dive. You should take some depth off your maximum dive and just do that. And this is going to compensate for any extra stress that you have because it's your first competition dive. And then throughout the competition or the next competition that you do, you can build up the depth. On the day of the competition, you will need to check in an hour before your official top. The official top is the time you've been given to do your dive. So if your official top is 12 o'clock, you'll need to check in at 11 o'clock. This rule is to make sure that you're not off breathing oxygen or doing something weird. So you turn up to the competition area, not in the water. You can still be dry at this point, 1 hour before. Normally around 45 minutes before your official top, you're allowed to get into the water and start your warm-up. So you arrive 1 hour before, 15 minutes later, you can already get in the water and start to do your warm-up. According to the rules, you have to be given at least 2 minutes to prepare for your dive before your official top. But a good organizer will make sure you have 4 or 5 minutes on the line before you have to do your dive. When there's 2 minutes until your official top, that's when the countdown will start. the judge will start your countdown. It will go from 2 minutes, 1 minute 30, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can't, and then official top. You can't dive before they say official top. If you do, it's a penalty and you don't get the full points for your dive. You then have a 30-second window in which you can dive after the official top. So they're going to start counting up all the way to 30 seconds. If you're running out of time, if it's getting close to 30 seconds, your dive officially starts when your airway submerges. So when you take out your snorkel, if you're breathing through the snorkel, or when your face goes into the water, that's when your dive starts. Then if you felt like you're a little bit panicked, you could just pause, give yourself a couple of seconds and then begin your dive, rather than getting into the dive like really stressed. So the dive begins and the count up to 30 seconds stops as soon as the airway is submerged. Then you'll do your dive, whichever dive it is, according to the rules. I'm not going to go through the rules of every single discipline. Basically, you take yourself down to the bottom of the line. Once you're on the bottom of the line, there's a plate with some tags. You need to take one of these tags and you need to bring it up to the surface. If you don't, you lose points. Instead of getting a white card, you'll get a yellow card. Above this plate, there'll be a lanyard stopper and there'll be some tape that we call the candy cane, which marks out a 2-meter zone above the plate. If you're doing any of the constant weight disciplines, you're allowed to pull on the rope one time within this zone. If you pull outside the zone, so if you pull 2.1 meters above the bottom plate, you'll get disqualified. So you've got to be careful to only pull once and only pull within this 2-meter grace zone. If you're doing free immersion, it doesn't matter. So then you bring yourself back up to the surface. Once you get onto the surface, you have 15 seconds to do your protocol. The protocol starts when you take off your facial equipment. So you get to the surface, you take off your mask or your nose clip and your goggles, whichever one you have. That would be the start of the protocol. You then give an okay sign. It can be any of the fingers. If you're holding your mask, the mask can be in between the fingers, that's okay. And then you say, I am okay. Once you've done that, the protocol is over and you can do pretty much what you like, apart from touching anybody, and nobody can touch you, and you can't put your face in the water until you get your card. Now, some people like to take their nose clip off while they're still underwater. For them, the protocol starts when they do the okay sign and say, I'm okay. So for instance, if you get to the surface and you start whatever, if you took your nose clip underwater, you get to the surface and you start talking and doing random things, then do the okay sign and say, I'm okay straight away, it's still a white card. The same if you get to the surface, you do something weird, like just start talking to somebody and then take off your nose clip, do the okay sign, say I'm okay, that's okay. If you take off the nose clip, start talking to somebody, then give the okay sign and say you're okay, then it's going to be a red card because the protocol is not right. So that's something which is important to understand. If you don't quite get what I'm saying, let me know in the comments below and I'll clarify. 30 seconds after the dive, if you've done the protocol and you've kept your airway clear, the judge will ask for your tag, the tag that you took from the bottom. When you get the tag, don't put your face in the water to try and find the tag. Keep your airway clear. It needs to stay clear until they give you your card, either the white, yellow or red card. So you take your tag from wherever it is, show them the tag, and then they'll give you whichever card you get. If the performance was good and you have a tag, it's a white card. If there's some penalty, it will be a yellow card. If you've been disqualified, it will be a red card. Then you finished your dive, you go, you hang out with your friends. In the afternoon, the judges will review the bottom camera footage to make sure nobody did anything against the rules on the bottom camera. And then they're going to announce the results. Once they announce the results, all the athletes have the opportunity to protest. So if you think you got a red or a yellow card and you didn't deserve it, then you have the chance to protest against that that result. Normally, to do a protest, you have to pay. If you get the protest, so if you're in the right, you get your money back. If you fail the protest, so they gave you a red card and all the evidence says that that was the correct judgment, then you'll lose your money. Once that's done, the results are official, and that's it. Then the whole process starts again for the next competition day. So that's it. That's how a competition is going to flow in general. I didn't want to go too into the rules, like how you get a yellow card, all the different reasons to get a yellow card. I think I'm going to make a separate video for that. This is just to give you an idea so you can kind of understand what a competition is going to be like before you've been to one, and it should take away from some of the stress. So if you enjoyed the video, let me know. If you appreciate these videos, then like, share, subscribe. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's no advertising at all on any of my videos. So I'm not making any money from these. So if you want to sort of support the channel, then just share my videos, help to grow the channel. I'd appreciate that a lot. Until next time, guys and girls, take it easy and dive safe.